there, welcome to the Peaceful Home. So glad you joined me today. I'm really excited about this video. Today I'm going to show you my home tour for winter. We're going to talk about the word that keeps resurfacing during winter, spelled H-Y-G-G-E, and if you don't know what that is, I'll be talking about it in a little bit. I'm going to show you how I have transitioned from Christmas into winter. Because Christmas, although we're done with that holiday, the winter season is not over. And so it's really premature to launch into decorating for spring. There's still a need for coziness and warmth until the sun is shining for more hours in the day. If you're new here, I'm Teresa Elling. I am a professional organizer, parenting coach, and wife and homeschool mom to 6 graduated kids. I love to talk about all things home and family on this channel, and I would love it if you would subscribe, hit the notification bell so you will know when I upload a new video. Now, while I firmly believe that it is the peace of God that surpasses understanding deep in our hearts that provides true peace, there is something to having our homes tidied and organized that brings a level of peace and calm. And that is very important for families. It's important for yourself, for your spouse, for your children. It's important that we're creating a welcoming, cozy space for our family to live life. Let's go around my first floor and I'll just show you some of the ways that I have brought winter in and taken Christmas out. The first step in decorating after the holidays, for me personally, is to remove all of the red and all of the obvious Christmas items. So that means stockings and bright colored lights and nativity scenes and red and green flannel and all different decorations, but especially the red. Now, if you normally decorate with red, that wouldn't apply to you, but I do not. And so red is a special color I bring in for Christmas. So it's got to go before I can move into my next stage of winter decorating. Here in my kitchen, I have been really working at making sure that my peninsula here and my island stay clear of clutter. And I do have a video about that, watching out for paper clutter that piles on counters. I will link that below. But this is something where I am doing a check every single night to make sure these surfaces are clear. It also means putting some other systems in place. And now that it's January, we're gonna launch into quite a few more organizing videos and talking about how to reduce clutter in your home. The first thing here is my cake stand, which has a stack of Bibles on it. And this is because I am going through a book called The 40-Day Sugar Fast. And it was something that the author had done one year during her fast. And I just decided I was going to do it this year. It is a reminder that we are not only to fast, but also to feast on God's word. And I have a post on Instagram and Facebook if you want to take a look at that. And as far as my sink goes and this window, I completely left up my little village of houses and the trees. I leave in things that remind me of winter. So pine trees, cypress, pine cones, snow. I love to bring green in, but snow is good too. So we don't have snow here where I live in California. I love the look of snow and bringing in that idea at Christmas. And I do like it for winter decorating, but I really like some nice pops of green. It just brings such a freshness. I did take down the cedar garland I had and just put a few plants here and some little things that I use, the pitcher and the little bowls, so that they're really handy. I usually have a candle burning on the stove. For one thing, it reminds me to have my stove clean in between meals. I also took out the Christmas decor, some of the ribbons and the garland that had red in them or that were, very clearly Christmas. But I still have a few pine trees and just I organized some of my crocks. This one here is a new one that I got for Christmas from one of my girls. I think it's so pretty, so I wanted to display that. And then moving into the dining room, I have the dresser or buffet that holds all of my linens And this actually was featured in a video recently, the tiered tray challenge, where you had to decorate a tiered tray for winter. I will link that video as well if you missed it. That one was really fun to do. That was right after Christmas. And so I just have a few things out that remind me of winter. And I even kept up the garland with the little white lights. And you'll see garland throughout my home because I just think it reminds me of stars at night. I love to have it on at night. Almost every night we have the lights up and we have a fire in the fireplace, and it's wonderful. Just kind of moving around the room here. Behind me is my coffee bar, and I have removed all of the Christmas items from there. I had a silver tree collection that goes up on the top shelf. I removed that. And in addition to bringing in green, I love blue and white. It's probably my favorite color, blue. And the white and blue combination is just classic. I love it. So I brought a little bit of blue and white into the coffee bar. Up on the top shelf, I still have some pine trees, and I think they look beautiful there. I brought in some silver, which again is a classic winter color if you can bring silver in. A lot of people associate gold with Christmas. I like gold and silver, and I actually have gold and silver in my winter decor as well. Another favorite gift was this cute little blue and white teacup that is actually a candle that one of my daughters made for me. And it's a perfect addition to the coffee bar. I also received this pewter bowl from my parents for Christmas. I love pewter because you do not have to polish it. And it's such a beautiful traditional look without having all of the work that it takes to keep up silver. The next shelf down holds our tea bags for iced tea, which we make every single day in the summer, but still quite frequently in the winter. And this really cute little dome covered wood plate I recently thrifted. And this seems to be a great spot for it. A couple of years ago, I took a thrifted cutting board and I attached a little metal clip to it. And I frequently will put a piece of artwork, a quote, something that I want to display on my coffee bar. You may remember seeing my new canisters for flour and sugar, the blue and white ones, in my pantry video, but it was a complete set also for coffee and tea. And so now I've been able to put those out on my coffee bar and again, bring a little bit of blue into the space. This is our game puzzle table that previously was in our library. And I'll show you when I get over there, my plans have changed for that space. And so right now we're trying the table here, and we do currently have a puzzle going on. So it's really nice to have a space that is not your dining room table where you can leave a board game out or a new Lego set or a puzzle. So if you are able to have a separate space, that's amazing. If not, for years and years, I used either some sort of plywood, cookie sheet, cardboard, and would whisk things away while we ate our meal and then be able to bring them back. We're gonna go ahead and move on into the main part of the living room, but I wanted to talk to you about that H word. Now, most of you have probably seen that around. It's really been rising in popularity, and that is the concept of Hygge or Hygge. And I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. It's either more like, if you think of a man's name, Hugo, but it's Hygge, or Hygge. And of course, if you do it with a Danish accent, that's really awesome. My grandfather immigrated here from Denmark. And so I had researched this just because I was fascinated because of my heritage. But this whole concept, what the Danes would say is you really can't summarize it with words. It's a feeling, it is a mindset. Obviously, in Scandinavian countries, the winters are very bleak and very dark and very cold. And so this concept comes into play where it's an understanding of coziness and togetherness. And it's really about hospitality, but not in the way of entertaining people or showing off your home, but bringing people together to live life together, which I believe as Christians, that is really what we want when we say that we're doing life together. But it's about enjoying meals together, playing a board game or doing a puzzle, sitting in front of a fire and having meaningful conversation, and also good food. And that is food that you prepare together traditionally. You don't prepare as the host, get all of your food ready and people come in and eat it. You invite friends over and you cook together and you just enjoy spending the day together. A big part of Hygge is candles and fuzzy throws and fires and just being able to experience warmth and coziness during winter. And so I think definitely Americans have grabbed onto that as a really great concept of spending time together with family and friends and sharing life in an unpretentious way. I would really encourage you that after you do a little redecorating for the winter season, light some candles, start some special traditions with your children, maybe at bedtime, reading out loud in front of a fire, or if you don't have a fireplace, lighting candles and snuggling up with blankets. For me and Kevin, we really look at this as a time to kind of hibernate and be in during the evening, because in the summer when it is staying light until 8:30, 9 o'clock sometimes, we're outside. We're out on the river, out on the property, and we don't come in until dark. And so this is definitely a more restful season. And it's a great motivation to get your home clean and organized and cozied up for winter. So behind me is our dining room table and my picture shelves. And I redecorate those for each season, and I try not to make it be anything elaborate, something that I can put together in under an hour. And I really love the things that I put on my shelves this year. Several of these things I thrifted this year, and so they're new to me. I would say my budget for this project was about $17. That's how much I spent. I used mainly things I had and just a couple of thrifted things. So remember that you do not need a huge budget just to bring in some new life to your home. Most of you know I have a thing about pillows, and I did change out the pillows. I removed all of my red flannel plaid ones from Christmas, and most of these I already had, and I just added a couple of green ones. I love green velvet. There's something about it in winter that feels so cozy to me. And so I'm really pleased with the way that this area turned out, and it's just a great gathering spot for family. I am planning on completely redoing my built-in bookcases this year, and I'm not sure when I'll do that, but I told you that my puzzle game table usually is here, and of course we had our Christmas tree here in the winter, but I really want to make this kind of a play area for my grandkids. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. If you have any ideas, I would love to hear those. You can just comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are for this space, but I'm excited to redo it. Lastly is the living room. And my husband's out on a ladder, so if you hear any drilling going on, he's finishing the next phase of our front porch. So here, again, it's pretty simple. I just brought in throws. Actually, this green throw I had in my bedroom for Christmas, and now I've brought it down here because I really like to bring some of the green in. And just a lot of furs. Like I said, we have fires every night. I still love doing the black and white check or plaid. So black, white, green with accents of bronze or gold or silver is really what I'm looking for this season. And on my ottoman, I've just got a little fern here and some green books, and I just bought this vintage candle snuffer, and I just love the color. It doesn't have to be complicated to decorate your space after Christmas. You really are paring down. Remove the Christmas stuff, remove the clutter, and then just add a tiny bit of the wintry elements. you haven't yet had the time or motivation to finish up with your Christmas stuff, I would encourage you, just plan this next weekend, put a few hours aside, get your Christmas stuff put away, and then bring out a few things that will make your space feel cozy and new, and plan a game night with your family. Thanks so much for joining me today on The Peaceful Home. Happy winter.